In the spring of 2010, I was at a ribbon cutting ceremony, and a man approached me and asked me if our center would need a new ultrasound system, a new 4D ultrasound system. I said yes, we would love to have a 4D ultrasound system, but I thought to myself, this guy doesn't realize that that is a very expensive piece of equipment. It was about $80,000. I began to inquire, and he said he was with Knights of Columbus. And I was very skeptical at the time, and I thought they're never going to be able to pull this off. It was just too much money, and the economy is not good. In about 3 months' time, another member from another Knights of Columbus called me, and he said, I think we've got the money together, go ahead and order the system. And I began to look for one, and I began to negotiate with various manufacturers. We ordered it in May of this year, and in June it was delivered on June the 13th, 2011. That day, the system was delivered at 12 noon, and at that same time, at the center, all of these men in suits showed up at the pregnancy center, and which is a very unusual sight for us. They all came in very excited as we were, and presented us with 3 checks to cover the cost of the system. When we have an ultrasound that's going on at the center, it's in a very private room. All of the staff is working at the other end of the hallway, and in the room will be the girl, the sonographer, and one of our counselors. Those times when someone is making that decision about a life, it seems like the clock almost stops ticking. And then we wait, even with the door closed, to hear that heartbeat. So many times when a girl hears a heartbeat and she's looking at a heart that is the size of a printed period on a typed piece of paper, and we can see all 4 chambers of a heart beating, she is so shocked that she will say, is that the heartbeat? And the father will say, is that the heartbeat? And of course it is, and not only can we see it, we can hear it. It's a moment that of course we could never recreate. It's God. More than the baby on the screen, her reaction is the most wonderful thing to watch. I always believe that when an ordinary person approaches the pregnancy center about something like this, just like Ken Allen approached me about buying the system, I always try to be aware that when an idea like that occurs to a Christian, that it's really an idea that was birthed in the mind of God first, and that person was listening, and then they act on it. So I know when incredible things happen at the pregnancy center, that it's simply extraordinary things happening through ordinary people. And in this case, it was a group of men in suits. For teenage girls that they're never going to meet, for children that will be born that they will never meet. And the girl that's benefiting from it and the child that's benefiting from it will never know about those men or about those people who gave money to buy that system. So it's a sort of a coming together of a plan that we didn't have in mind, but I think God had it in mind for us. Just that one life is worth so much time and energy, so much of our support that we get from people who never really even come into the center. If they could see what we see in the eyes of a teenage mom who realizes that she's carrying life within her, it's a transforming experience.